interview for Peep-magazine. We're here at the Globe Gallery in North Shields. We're joined with Mark-one87 at his first gallery show, his first art show at the Globe Gallery. Mark, thanks for coming, but you were always going to be here.
Yeah, of course, no bother at all. Nice to chat to you.
Mark, the 187, is that, have you taken that from a police term down for a 187?
No, not really. Like Mark 1 was just something I doodled loads as a kid, and I was born in 87. So I eventually started like a design business called 187, and then eventually that kind of developed into sort of just Mark 187 as an artist alias. It didn't really come from the 187 associations.
Yeah, brilliant. So we're here this is your first show. What was how did this come about, coming to the Globe and having your first show with SUNE and Cack and the Kid?
So the Globe approached SUNE with the opportunity. They wanted 3 different artists to come in and take over the gallery space. Basically, they wanted to just kind of hand it over to us, give a free rein, hence the name Blank Canvas, and allow us to just do our thing in the space. They wanted to like really bring in the raw side of sort of graffiti street art into the place, so they just handed it over. I said, do what you want with it. We had a really tight time frame to accomplish all the work. We only spent about 2 weeks putting it all together. So it was a little bit of a rush job, but it's all come together nicely in the end.
Yeah, because this Globe Gallery, am I right in thinking it's been open for about 29 years?
It has, yeah. It's been established a long time. It closed for a little while. This is its second exhibition since it's reopened, but it's been going a long time, and it's had ties with the sort of graffiti scene for a long time. I mean, the TTK crew did an exhibition here back in 1985. So the likes of Mr. Z, Main, all of those guys, the older guys in the crew, they all did an exhibition here. So that it's really nice for me as well, being part of TTK, to come here and do a show as well.
Yeah, because it seems like you're really big on community arts inclusion with artists, because the last time I think I saw you was at Elements down at the Oosburn. Could you maybe talk to a little bit about Elements and how long that took you? I mean, was that 3 years in the making, that?
What, Elements?
Yeah.
No, much shorter time frame. We actually put we spent about a year developing it, from the first conversations to then, developing a pitch and going through. So yeah, I organised Elements Art Festival, alongside Building Culture, who supported. So they're a community interest organisation. So they support with the organisation side of things, connecting all the dots together. So I just really wanted to bring something to Newcastle to showcase the sort of graffiti street art scenes, all the talented artists that we've got. But yeah, I'm really big on sort of community art and the benefits that can have on lots of different people and communities. So as part of the festival, we had the main event, but then we also had about 5 different outreach projects, which went all around the surrounding communities, into sort of St. Anne's, Biker, loads of different places around the Oosburn. And we'll try to connect people into the area who don't usually sort of get involved in the Oosburn. They feel a little bit outside of it. So we want to bring them in through sort of creative, workshops and different projects. And we'll work with a few sort of outreach projects as well. Work with charities and all sorts of different people.
Yeah. How important is it for you as an artist to keep these connections with local artists and the local art scene? Have you got any projects in the future?
Got lots of projects. So I think it's a really important thing that the art scene works kind of together and is connected. I think being overly competitive with each other, if we all work together, we're going to make the scene thrive. I think that's a really, really important point to follow from. But yeah, I'm working on lots of different community projects all of the time around me murals and things like that. So I'm currently working on projects with Carbon Homes in the Biker estate. So we're working with their initiatives, like really trying to sort of bring some positivity to the estate. Places like Biker have their problems, but there's also a lot of community spirit there as well. So we're working with the young people there in the schools and the sort of the youth organisations, just to give them a chance to try something creative. So I think when I was young, this wasn't like a career path. Being a graffiti artist, a mural artist, anything like that. It was little bits going, but it wasn't huge. But I've managed to luckily make a career out of it. Just persistence, hard work over time, and I think over time it's become more and more accepted as an art form. So then you can show sort of young people that it is a career path if they want to go that way as well.
We always talk about this with graffiti artists and writers and street artists. I'd say about 80% of them haven't got a positive experience from school, because art's kind of perceived to be like a bunking off part of school. But how was your childhood, and how did your teachers inspire you to do art, or did they, or didn't?
They didn't really, if I'm honest. I enjoyed art, but it wasn't necessarily quite the kind of art that really inspired us. You know, I did have one art teacher who inspired us generally with art, but it wasn't really the kind of thing that I wanted to do. And I think I didn't really discover my full passion for like creativity until I found graffiti. But I just found that off my own back, really, and, you know, engaged with sort of older lads that were doing it that I met. They encouraged it, but at school at that point, like, art was not pushed as a career whatsoever. It's getting a little bit better now, but I think back then, even my family were kind of like, you need to get a real job, this and that, you know, and until you're successful with it, that's when people start to appreciate what you're doing. But it was a bit more of a battle sort of thing coming up, like, oh, you're gonna have to just do something proper. I actually started out as a graphic designer. Yeah, I worked in that industry for a while. I qualified as that, you know, did a degree in graphic design. Worked in the industry for a little while, but then kind of flipped it on its head. And I've always done commissions, but then now I'm kind of full-time doing commissions, things like that.
Are you all encompassing with your graphic design? Do you use all the programs like Final Cut and InDesign and all that? Or
yeah, I use a lot of sort of Photoshop, Illustrator, that sort of things. So depending on the project I'm working on, I kind of bring all those skills together. So I still utilise a lot of my design illustration skills, whether it's sort of like promoting a project, like Elements, I did all the branding and the promo for that sort of stuff as well. So I just kind of put all of those bits together.
I think I've already asked this, but is there plans for another Element?
Hopefully, fingers crossed. Obviously, we were very, very lucky to get the sort of the funding that we got from, you know, North East Combined Authority, other investors. So if we can get the backing again and we can get the support, then we'll definitely be looking for a round 2 next year. We'll be having talks about that very soon. We've just wrapped up the final community project for it, so it's taking a little bit longer to get those all wrapped up. But then, yeah, we'll be having chats about the next round. Everybody seems really keen for it, so we want to try and bring it again.
How do you feel you've been received with local artists and local graffiti writers and street artists? Have there been open arms, or have you had any resistance from any of them?
There's always a little bit of resistance from the graffiti scene. You know, there's always the competitive edge and things like that. So there's always a little bit of resistance, but on the vast majority, I would say 99% was extremely positive. All of the artists that got involved in the festival were really positive, supportive, helped out everywhere that they could. And I think it showed the positivity that can be there if we choose to go in that direction. I think there's a lot of animosity can come from the graffiti scene. You can get a lot of beef, a lot of sort of egotistical wars and things like that going on. But I think once you get to a certain age, you've got to kind of leave that bit behind. And I think there's a lot of positives we can do with it, and the world's sort of accepting graffiti street art more as the art form that it is. And I think we need to be focused on pushing that rather than any kind of conflict.
Yeah, man, of course. As I've just been knocked there. Mark, I think it would be a great opportunity to have a little walk around and maybe talk about some of your key pieces. Would you be up for that? Yeah. Okay, so we're just going to have a little walk around, then we're going to have maybe a tour of the gallery. It's the first time I've been here, and it's I didn't realise it was so big.
Yeah, it's a really cool space. Like I say, it's been here for a long, long time, but really lush opportunity just to be given a gallery with white walls and say, here you go, sort of thing. So, like, a lot of the times I spend my time doing a lot of sort of commercial works, things for clients, businesses, that sort of thing. So this has really given us an opportunity just to explore like my own creativity, self-directed. So this was a piece I had kind of sitting for a while. I've been really enjoying painting birds for some reason at the minute. Obviously the magpie with a local reference. Growing up, I was football mad, Newcastle, all that sort of stuff. But I like to kind of mix a bit of nature with a bit of like graffiti and the rawness of, you know, that sort of thing, all the graffiti sort of techniques and textures and all of that, and just bring two different worlds together. And I love just exploring sort of big colour combinations, contrasts, things like that as well.
Is this old spray can work, or is this with brush as well?
All spray can. I tend to do that on the vast majority. I might use a little bit of emulsion for a base coat, or a bit of brush work here and there if I'm doing a bit of mixed media, but vast majority is just freehand spray paint.
Oh, brilliant, mate, brilliant. Can we just have a walk through, Mark, and then just show, is this Cack Kids, is this like a...
So this piece
what's this, yeah?
Collaboration. This is a collaboration between all three who were involved, so myself, Toby Heaps, Cack-handed Kid. So what we did is, Toby marked out an idea with a skull, he painted two pieces, then left the two other bits for us to kind of fill in. So we couldn't quite see what was there, and we all just added our own bits to create a kind of collaborative piece. We thought we might kind of bring it all together for that bit.
I'll come back to that.
Yeah, of course.
I'm seeing this like shrimp or something, is that?
Toby's work.
Oh, that's really nice. He's probably best to talk about that.
So this is another one of my pieces here. Again, another bird. I absolutely love owls. I think they've got a really sort of like mystic vibe about them. So I really wanted to kind of capture that in this piece. And I've been dying to do a sort of large-scale bird for a while. So I wanted to kind of bring that in and make it look kind of, you know, mystic, sort of magical, with a little bit of evil mixed in there as well. And then you've got a selection of my prints and canvas works as well.
See that?
Just on that side. So these are just a bit more sort of abstract stuff. I love working with sort of, you know, different size caps and nozzles and all fat caps and things like that. Things that stem from sort of graffiti, bombing, tagging, all that sort of stuff. But I like to bring it into a sort of creative way and use all the different colours as I can. And then a lot of these prints I'm exploring again with like graffiti typography in different ways, and you can see a little bit of me sort of design illustration background coming in there as well. And I love things with symmetry. I'm into things like sort of sacred geometry, inspired by things like cymatics, which is like the visuals of sound waves and things like that. So all these random things kind of influence the things that I do.
I'm also seeing the skull behind you there. That's got to be Toby's work as well, isn't it?
Yeah, that's Toby's work as well. So you've got two different images in there. So he's painted one image and he's kind of masked areas off so you can kind of see the two, and it kind of plays with your eyes a little bit as well. Really, really creative guy. Love his work.
For anyone wanting to look out for this guy who we're talking about, I'm going to be uploading him to the channel really soon, so subscribe for updates and all the rest of it. But have you got any work through them? Or?
Yeah, there's a few little bits, yeah. Trying to go through. I've got a few prints. So I've got a few sort of original pieces on paper here as well, kind of prints, and I've also got some where are they in here? I've also got some limited edition prints available as well. So I'm doing a short run of those and a few originals on paper as well for anyone that wants a sort of original piece, and canvases on sale as well.
Yeah, brilliant. So how are you actually getting these? Like, is there a printer that you predominantly use, or is there somewhere that...
I'm using a local printer just across the road from here, actually, called Spiff and Print. So he's been doing me limited prints at the moment. Really nice quality and really good turnaround time as well. So I like to use local people, local creatives as much as possible.
Hey, fancy seeing you here. All right, so here we are again in the kind of the middle of the gallery
as well. So these ones I just threw some canvases on the wall, just went for it, painted it. So I just wanted to freestyle something, basically throw something up really quick, and then someone can have a piece of sort of really raw art that I just freestyled on the spot.
Is this part of the shrimp as well? Is this part of the shrimp design?
Yeah, so Toby had done those walls, but we left that blank, so we thought it would be nice to kind of inject another art style in between them. He's got the really nice bit that joins on from these two, so we wanted to kind of, I've connected into the shrimp there, and then it just kind of bursts out from there. So I just wanted to keep this one really loose and kind of fresh with this one. Then I've got a couple more pieces hanging on.
That kind of looks like a wild style, doesn't it?
Yeah, very much sort of, you know, graffiti stuff. This is, you know, just the abstract textures. This reminds us of like what I loved about graffiti in the beginning, when it was coming from, you know, New York, and it was all just like fresh and new, just abstract textures and all of that. So that's what I wanted to kind of do with this one.
Brilliant, mate. Let's have a look through there and see what's...
So these are the last two I've got. Yeah, so these are just a few personal works. These are a bit more mixed media, a bit of brushwork, bit of spray paint. But these are two of my favourites that I've got hanging as well.
Mark, thanks a lot. It's been really nice to meet you eventually, because I was wanting to have an interview with you at the Elements Art Festival, and unfortunately we just didn't catch each other. But now
I didn't stop over that weekend, so I didn't get a chance to stop.
It's
fine. Thank you for chatting anyway. Thank you for coming along the show. Really appreciate it, and keep up the good work with everything you're doing, documenting the scene. Really good.
Thanks a lot, bro. Cheers, man.